this cute, lovable human being, but deep down you are the most brutal, most cruel person to your own very self. Hey guys, it's Faye here again. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being here. This video is not intended to bash parents in any way. Funny enough, most of us that have been through this, our parents didn't know better. They didn't know better. They didn't have it any other way. And of course, you cannot give what you do not have. Without further ado, let's get right into what today's topic is all about. What are daddy issues? Daddy issues are consequences or the aftermath of having an emotionally absent father or a physically absent father, whatever the case may be. That's my definition. That's how I understand daddy issues. That's how I would explain it to someone who doesn't know what daddy issues are. I grew up in a very strict household. I grew up in a household where my emotional needs were not met. Sometimes parents confuse providing for their children financially and sending them to school, paying their bills is all they need to do as parents, and probably teach them the way of the Lord, take them to church and just show them how to live the Christian life. But that's not all there is to parenting. I'm not a parent. I know nothing about parenting, but from my upbringing I now know what not to do when I start raising my own family. My background was really strict to a fault. Yeah, it was military sort of. Yeah, when a parent is not emotionally available to a child, there are consequences. There is an aftermath of that neglect. Most things we go through, most of our experiences in our early childhood play a role in how we turn out as adults. Most adults today are carrying baggages of emotional issues, trauma, scars, open wounds from childhood, simply because they were emotionally neglected. Daddy issues is like one of the prominent issues we are dealing with in our society. Fathers that were not there emotionally, fathers that never validated or affirmed you when you were younger. I just want to talk about the aftermath, the consequences of daddy issues and being neglected, abandonment issues. First off, the consequences are low self-esteem. When a child is emotionally bullied, by their parents, not being affirmed, to let them know that they are worthy to even be in this world, all they hear is negative words. Even the body language of a parent, of you as a parent, is negative, is toxic. Have you ever felt like you are not worthy? Have you ever felt like it's my fault? Have you ever felt like maybe it's me? For the longest time, I dealt with something is wrong with me. I am at fault. It's my fault. If only I had the opportunity to talk about how I felt, how I was bullied. If only I had the opportunity to just be myself, be a child that I was. And just as a side note, emotional neglect forces a child to grow up faster than they should, because you are handling so much emotional responsibility already at a young age, which your parents should be the one backing you up and defending you. But when things go wrong, when you're bullied, like in my case, when you're not being treated right by someone, when something is not right, you have to like deal with it in your own childish way, in your own, in your own little head, in your own little mind. You're just going to have to deal with it anyhow, but you have to survive. I became confused. Like at some point I started questioning myself, like, okay, if something would go wrong and someone treats me some type of way, and I start to ask myself, was it me? Was it me? Was it me? Maybe it was me. Maybe it was me. Maybe I acted in a way that made this person to treat me this way. Maybe it's just my fault. I just kept blaming myself for everything. Even when I make mistakes, oh God, I will beat myself up. I was brutal to myself. Like the way the way I treated myself, I wouldn't even treat someone else that way. I wouldn't even treat my worst enemy that way. Trust me. That was how bad it was. It's possible that you are this nice, warm, soft-spoken like I am. You are this cute, lovable human being, but deep down, you are the most brutal, most cruel person to your own very self. And that was what emotional neglect did to me. Bullying is not just physical. It's don't be shocked that parents bully their children emotionally. As a parent, you're always saying negative things to your child. That's emotional bullying. Things will go wrong. Things will spoil in that child's life. It takes a lot to recover the lost years. Yeah, because I feel like those years where I became withdrawn, where I had to just put on a mask, where I had to basically survive and not leave, those years were like stolen years. I couldn't speak up. I had no one to talk to. I was confused about so many things, and I had to figure out life on my own. It takes time. It will take time. I am still in the process of healing, still in the process of getting better, treating myself better, becoming a bolder, outspoken version of myself, and just loving myself. It takes you even knowing that there is a problem, you have abandonment issues, for you to even want to work on yourself. I, for one, didn't get the opportunity to be told I was loved, I was worthy, I was good enough. Rather it was just like everything you did was wrong. Everything you did was wrong. The way you ate, the way you talk, the way you laugh, the way you do, it was just really it was draining, it was suffocating. At some point you just feel like, okay, I just want to disappear, I just want to run away. Looking back now, it's kind of funny, but then it wasn't. And truthfully, I am still dealing with like the aftermath of emotional neglect. It was just a situation where even when something was wrong with you, you were too afraid to speak up because you are going to get blamed. You were going to get blamed eventually. When something happens between you and somebody, when there's an issue, you are even afraid to talk about it because it's going to bounce back on you. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Tiny as I was, if I had any problems with bullying or someone not treating me right, I had to just learn how to deal with it. And dealing with it my own way then was not the right way. I ended up internalizing things. I became angry. I became withdrawn. I became a shadow of myself. I had to put up an act. I no longer was myself just because I didn't have anyone I could run to. I eventually speak up about the bullying, about the mistreatment I was getting, I was still going to get blamed. It was not an assumption. Me saying I was going to get blamed is not was not an assumption. It's something that will happen. I became withdrawn. I became timid. I started to feel like something was wrong with me right from an early age. Growing up was like I dealt with much more than I was supposed to deal with growing up because of the emotional neglect and emotional bullying. Most parents think when they raise their voices, when they say negative words, when they are when they are just like that, they feel like maybe that's how to train a child. I Looking back now, I was one of those children that didn't need to be in a toxic environment. I wouldn't thrive in a toxic environment. For children like me, the worst thing you would have done or you would do is to be violent, to be unavailable, because you are literally killing the star in that child. That was the kind of child I was. I needed affirmation. I needed you to prove to me that you were there. I needed you to tell me you were there. You act it and you say it and you act it. I am here to defend you. Show me you love me. Show me you care about me. That was what a child like me needed to thrive. I wasn't giving all of that. I basically became a shadow of myself. I suppressed my potential. I basically dimmed my light. I just became afraid, and I dreaded rejection. I know, like, if I speak up about something, I was going to get ignored or shouted on. So it made me dread rejection so much till this day. I would hardly like speak up or ask for something because I do not want to be neglected. Guys, you can see how far it is going. Like, you can see how deep emotional neglect or emotional bullying can eat deep into adulthood. The only thing you can do about it is to work on it. I mean, because your parents didn't do a good job or because they failed in an aspect, and you're not just going to leave yourself that way. You're not just going to let yourself be stuck. You have to work on you. You have to do what you have to do. I mean, the scars are there, the aftermath, the effects are still there, but now you know better. Now you can do something about it. Now you can heal. Yeah, now you can move on. If you really want to conquer abandonment issues, if you really want to conquer the effects of emotional neglect as a child, go back to your inner child, nurture him, give that child what he or she never had. Basically, reparent yourself. Whatever went wrong, find the means to correct them. Dress the wounds of that inner child. Each one of us has an inner child within us that we go back to every now and then. We go back sometimes in the negative, and we go back sometimes in the positive, recalling all the sweet memories and events that took place when we were children. And the best thing you can do is find healing, find closure, move forward, and be a better you. I'm trying to find my balance in life, trying to find my healing, trying to just move forward and be a better version of myself, going back to my inner child and building myself up, and giving myself that which I never had, feeding my inner child, that which I lacked. And if you are in the same shoes as I am and was, you need to start healing now. Thank you so much for joining me once again. See you in my next one. Bye. Hold on. You thought I was just going to let you go like that? Excuse me. You thought I was just going to let you walk away without subscribing? Without liking? Commenting? Oh no, I wasn't going to do that. Please do like, subscribe, comment, share. Do all you gotta do.